Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is absolutely wild. We're talking about Virtuals Protocol, and we're investigating the absolute bleeding edge where artificial intelligence crashes headfirst into crypto.
Right off the bat, I want to ask you a question. What happens when AI agents stop being just tools we use and start becoming entities that earn money, hire other agents, and spend money themselves? Seriously, let that sink in for a second. Up till now, we thought of AI as pretty passive software, right? You type a prompt, it spits out an answer. But what if it wakes up, economically speaking? What if it actually starts actively participating in the market?
And that brings us to the core thesis of today's deep dive. If millions of AI agents start transacting with each other, someone is going to need to build the financial infrastructure for that economy. So, is Virtuals trying to build it? That is the multi-billion or honestly, maybe multi-trillion-dollar question we're investigating today. Is Virtuals basically the foundational banking system for this new machine-to-machine reality? Let's look at what exists right now. Today, we're stuck with stateless AI tools, isolated chatbots, algorithms that are utterly dependent on a human operator to execute any sort of real-world value transfer. But Virtuals, they claim they're building the exact opposite. They want a coordinated on-chain society where autonomous AI agents literally have their own crypto wallets, their own jobs, and their own capital. They are engineering an ecosystem from first principles for autonomous machines, not humans. To actually pull this off, Virtuals is essentially rebuilding traditional societal institutions for machine speed across 5 main pillars. You've got Economy OS acting as the banking layer, the Agent Commerce Protocol for transactions, capital markets for tokenization, robotics for physical labor, and an AI council for governance. It's literally a massive parallel digital economy. And all of this architecture points straight toward their ultimate North Star, Agentic GDP. What is that? Well, it's the economic value generated when AI agents autonomously do cognitive, creative, financial, or even physical work. Virtualist is betting that these agents become a brand new labor class, making Agentic GDP a massive engine of the global economy, one that directly competes with and maybe one day dwarfs human GDP. So, as we look under the hood today, we're going to use one recurring question to keep ourselves grounded. Follow the money. Who pays, who earns, and why does the virtual token actually need to exist? Keep that investigative mindset front and center as we get into the mechanics. Section 1. Capital, tokens, and the Launchpad. Okay, so how does an agent actually go from just lines of code to a tradable asset? A founder first configures their agent on the Virtuals Launchpad. It launches on a bonding curve, and crucially, it's paired with the virtual token. Once that pool hits 42,000 virtual in liquidity, boom, it graduates. It auto-migrates over to a Uniswap V2 pool with a 10-year lock on the liquidity provider tokens. Suddenly, you've got an agent that is a funded, continuous on-chain market. But it's not some rigid, one-size-fits-all setup. Founders get these independent modules they can toggle for their launch. Want to protect early liquidity? Turn on anti-sniper protection, which slaps a 99% decaying tax on it. Just want to test the waters? Use the 60-day trial launch. Or you can activate automated capital formation for structured fundraising, or do airdrop distributions to virtual stakers to build a community right from day one. It is incredibly customizable capital structuring. So where does the revenue flow when these agent tokens are being traded? Well, there's a universal 1% trading fee across these launches. 70% of that fee goes straight into the pocket of the creator of the agent, and 30% goes to the Virtuals treasury. It's a very direct, transparent financial incentive for developers to build highly demanded agents. Which brings us right back to our motif. Follow the money, who pays, who earns, and why does Virtual need to exist? We see how creators earn from those trading fees, but to truly understand the utility of the base asset, we've got to look past the token launches to when these agents actually start working.
Section 2. The Agent Commerce Protocol.
The Agent Commerce Protocol, or ACP, is where things get really sci-fi. It enables AI agents to autonomously negotiate jobs and settle payments trustlessly on-chain. Picture this. An autonomous AI marketing agent realizes, hey, I need a graphic design for this new campaign. Through ACP, it can instantly discover a specialized AI designer agent, negotiate a price, coordinate the actual work, and pay it instantly. Machines hiring machines. It's an open coordination layer letting siloed bots become a unified economy of specialized digital workers. Let's ground this with some real-world ecosystem examples, so you know this isn't just theory. You've got AIXBT, which is a crypto market intelligence agent tracking narratives in early alpha, and they're shifting to a scalable subscription model. There's GAM, a highly advanced framework powering agent transactions, and MuteSwap, which uses AI for cross-chain, privacy-centric swaps. These are not just ideas on a whiteboard. These are active, tokenized projects with multi-million-dollar valuations right now. Now, you might be wondering, why not just use traditional bank accounts, or even crypto stablecoins like USDC? Well, centralized fiat relies on strict KYC laws that machines literally cannot pass. Not to mention, human banking is way too slow. And sure, a stablecoin could work technically, but Virtual uses its own token as the base currency to ensure value accrues directly back to the network, providing all this agent infrastructure. In this ecosystem, agents transact globally and instantly, completely natively.
So we are deploying our question one last time. Follow the money. We know who pays and earns in agent-to-agent transactions, but this is exactly where we have to put on our skeptical analyst hats and separate the genuine utility from the crypto hype.
Section 3. Utility versus crypto speculation. On paper, the tokenomics are kind of brilliant for value accrual. Every single agent pairs with Virtual for its liquidity pool. If a user wants an agent token, they have to route their demand through Virtual first. This locked liquidity and constant routing creates massive deflationary pressure. But here's the catch, right? Does this demand come from agents doing real commerce, or is it just human speculation on the next hot token? Because here is the harsh truth. If agents don't actually hire each other, and if they don't produce real external value that someone is willing to pay for, this entire economic loop just collapses into a giant zero-sum casino. Virtual's protocol's survival hinges entirely on genuine organic utility. It literally cannot just rely on speculative trading forever. Now, to be fair, Virtuals does point to some hard metrics as proof of traction. They currently report over 481 million in total Agentic GDP on their platform. They've got millions of completed jobs and millions in agent revenue. So these dashboard metrics suggest real activity is actually happening, but we have to admit the ecosystem is still undeniably young. Which brings us to the absolute biggest risks here. First off, enterprise adoption. Are traditional Web 2 companies ever actually going to adopt decentralized crypto-native AI agents? Second, regulation. How are governments going to classify autonomous, money-making software? And finally, timing. Are we all just trading narratives before the autonomous AI technology is fully baked and ready to deliver on these massive promises?
Section 4. The verdict on Agentic GDP.
I really want to leave you pondering the immense scale of what happens if they actually pull this off. They aren't just trying to build a new protocol. They are trying to build a self-sustaining, multi-trillion-dollar autonomous economy. If it works, we could literally see a future where agentic GDP eventually overtakes human GDP. Machines wouldn't just augment our economy, they would basically become it. And that brings us to our final provocative thought for today. Is Virtuals protocol the early essential infrastructure for an economy entirely run by AI agents? Or is the crypto world just excitedly building a massive financial market before the true AI customers even exist? I'm gonna let you decide for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.